Okay, so this is going to be a quick video. I'm just going to be doing the New Year book tag. This is a tag that was created by Bookables. I'll have her linked down below as well as the original video. But there's only 6 questions, so it's going to be quick, but it also looks really fun. So we're going to do it. Also, I'm still sick, so I'm sorry. Question number 1, how many books are you planning to read in 2019? So I don't usually set a Goodreads reading goal of how many books I want to read, partially because I'm terrible at keeping up with Goodreads and I never mark all the books that I read throughout the year, but I really want to do better at that in 2020. I'm going to try. But then the bigger reason is just because I don't like putting pressure on my reading, and I don't like near the end of the year trying to read a bunch of short books instead of reading the books that I want to read to hit some goal, which there's nothing wrong with doing. Of course, everybody can do what they want. It's just that's not fun to me. Plus, in 2020, we're going to be starting the adoption process, which I know takes a lot of paperwork and a lot of research, so it's going to be really time consuming. So I really just have no idea what my reading is going to look like next year. Hopefully, I'll still be able to read a ton because reading is my favorite way to spend my time. Well, my favorite way to spend my time outside of my family. But it's just unpredictable. So I really don't have a goal here. Every year for the last 2 years, I think, I have read over 100 books. So I guess it would be cool if I did that again, but I'm putting no pressure on myself to do that. Question 2, name 5 books that you didn't get to this year that you want to make a priority in 2019. Okay, House of Leaves has to be on this list because I started this book at the end of November, beginning of December, and I'm only 5 chapters in. So it has its main storyline thread, and then it's been translated and a bunch of, or not translated, but it's been a bunch of annotations have been put in the book. This is all fictional, but it's written as if it's nonfiction. And it's this video that's been made viral in the world. And so this guy has come along and he's putting his notes through it and kind of interpreting it and discussing it in the book. And oh, if there's one thing that I never like, it's footnotes in books. I've read several books that have done it. I've never liked it. It's such a rough go for me. Not only that, but the way this is written, with it being written to look like nonfiction, to look like it's all real, it feels like I'm reading a textbook. And I have hopes that it's going to get great because a lot of people say that this is the scariest book that they've ever read. They've never looked at doorways the same way after reading this. And I want that too. Like, I want to know why everybody's so scared. I want to look at doorways differently. Like, I want to experience this, but it's so hard to get through the beginning of it, and I think I just need to push through, but I always have a hard time picking this up instead of other books that I'm enjoying more. Oh, I feel like I need more eye drops. Let me go do that real quick. Okay, I just put eye drops in my eyes because they were feeling really dry. But anyway, the next book is My Dark Vanessa. I started this book at the end of December, so it'll probably be the first book that I complete in January in the new year. So obviously I'm going to finish it unless I just DNF it because it sucks. But it's one of my most anticipated books of 2020, and it's my first book of 2020, so fingers crossed. But anyway, I'm definitely reading it this year. I'm going to try to not talk about books that were on my January TBR and only talk about books that I haven't talked about recently. Okay, I picked out the other ones. So we have Rage of Dragons, which a lot of booktubers have been discussing recently, and I have not, and I want to because it sounds and looks and seems amazing. The Night Circus, which is one that wasn't even on my radar, but a lot of people have recommended to me, so it should have been on my radar. And then one of my subscribers sent it to me, so now I'm gonna read it really soon. And this is an abstract one, but The Song of the Siren. So I am really into siren mythology, and I know by reading the description of this that this is not even about actual sirens. I can't remember what it's about now. I don't remember, but I do know that it's a retelling of Prince Ivan and the Grey Wolf, which is a really short classic fairy tale, and I still haven't read it. So I'm going to read that, and then I'm going to read this. And I've had this on my shelf for a while. I think this is self-published if I'm not mistaken, but it's something that one of my subscribers recommended to me a long time ago, and I bought, and then I didn't read because I wanted to read the fairy tale first, and then I never read the fairy tale. and I need to read it this year because I bought it and I'm excited about it. Question number 3, what genre do you want to read more of? And the answer to this is going to be sci-fi. I know the answer should be historical fiction because that was the one genre that I said I was going to read more of in my goals of 2019. I had 4 genres that I didn't read enough of and I wanted to explore more fully, and I did that with all the genres except for historical fiction. And so I should say that, but I'm not gonna. It's sci-fi because I love it and I didn't know it until just now. Well, didn't know it until last year. The point is, the 4 genres, if you don't know, are sci-fi, horror, manga, which I know isn't actually a genre, but when I made this list, I didn't know that, and historical fiction. And I loved sci-fi, I loved horror, and I really enjoyed manga and need to do more of that as well. And then historical fiction, I only read 1 book from in the whole year, and it was in January. So really, I need to read more of all these genres, but sci-fi is the one that I'm the most excited about because oh my goodness, I love it so much. Question number 4, name 3 non-book related goals of 2020. I want to be really diligent about starting the adoption process. I want to be really diligent about getting the paperwork done right away and taking the time to do research. I tend to be a lot of a workaholic, and I tend to work a lot. And I don't really take time for myself as much as I probably should because there's work to be done. And I am a little bit concerned that my priorities won't be perfect in 2020, and I'll be prioritizing getting all the videos out that I want to get out in the week and getting all my audiobook narration done as quickly as I can, and adoption will continue, like the paperwork that I need to do will continue to just kind of slide down, and I don't want that to happen. A goal for me will be to make getting stuff done on time, which of course I have Corey helping me and I have my mom that's going to be helping me as well, so I have a lot of support around me, but I also know that this is something that I'm going to want to have my hands in. I don't really want to delegate very much of it. It's important to me and I want to do it. But I also want to make sure that it is something that I'm prioritizing above my channel and above my narration. And it's something that I am really, really focused on because I don't want it to drag out unnecessarily. So that's one goal. Another goal is I would love in 2020 to stop overworking. Getting 4 to 5 videos out a week on my channel and doing usually 2 to 3 audiobooks a month, maybe 1 if it's a really long one. All of this that I do it's a lot. I spend a lot of time on it. And I don't love how I prioritize my time at the moment. I do need to focus a little bit more on being fully present when I'm not working instead of just thinking about all the work that needs done. And I want to get better at focusing on the right now and focusing on the things that are not work related and letting them have their designated time and then getting to the work. Obviously work is important, but I just need to balance my life a little bit better. I'm trying to think of a third goal because all of this is on the fly. I'm just talking to you about how I'm feeling about my life at the moment. I guess another goal would just be to prioritize Spanish a little bit better. In 2019, I started trying to learn Spanish, and again, priorities. I'm just always, when I sit down to take a Spanish class with Skillshare, which this is not sponsored, I always think, but I have to do this work first and then I'll get to the class. And I'm not nearly as far in learning Spanish as I wanted to be at this point. So I need to do better. Question number 5, what's a book you've had forever that you still need to read? Ooh, that I've had forever. That's a great question. I'm gonna go with The Deal of Lifetime, which I've only had for a year, but I don't have a really big TBR that lasts for years. Usually I keep it pretty concise. And I planned on reading this around the Christmas season because look, it's Christmassy and it's by my favorite author, but I didn't do it, and I should like in January, right? Because it'll take me 2 minutes. That's not true. It'll take me like an hour, and it's Frederick freaking Bachman. I should just read it. And then the last question, one word that you're hoping 2020 will be. Ooh, that's a good question. I'm gonna have to think on that. Kindness, because just in general, I guess I talked about this in my last video, but like teenage Murphy was very angry, and I've grown up a lot. 27-year-old Murphy is not angry, and I'm a very happy person. But I think that one thing that I'm always trying to focus more on and make something that I kind of live my life by is understanding of other people's position and kindness. It's really easy to jump to conclusions and jump to judgments, and that's just not how I want to live my life. I want to live my life in a place of always wanting to understand where people are coming from and responding to them in a place of kindness and just wanting to show people love and acceptance and wanting to show people that they're valuable to me and not like I don't have time for them, or not like they, they're irritating or they're not important or something like that. There's enough insecurity and cruelness and meanness in the world that like I just don't want to ever be someone who's perpetuating that and who's being a part of that. I want to be I genuinely care about people, and I always want to make sure that I'm making a conscious effort to be clear in how I communicate with people, that they are valuable and that they do matter. And that's something that's very important to me. And so 2020, I definitely want kindness and just an understanding, a genuine caring of where people are coming from, and making them feel valued is something it's always important to me, but it's something that I want to continue to be important to me, that nobody feels snubbed or just less than when they're around me. Does that make sense? That's my answer. So there you go. That is the New Year's tag. I would love to hear your thoughts on any of these. Specifically, though, I would really love to hear everybody's word for 2020, because that is a great question. What is the word that you want to be your word in 2020? Let's keep chatting. I post videos every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. I'll see you guys soon.